Welcome to this episode of the Sports Detective Podcast Show. My name is James Williams, and today we discuss if Skip Bayless is being delusional about his divorce with Shannon Sharpe. What are we talking about? Well, Skip Bayless right now, since he has been off TV for 2 or 3 months, he has finally started to go on a PR tour to kind of revamp his image and make him seem a lot more likable, because it used to be the thing, obviously, with Skip Bayless where people loved to hate him. And now with Skip, or at least what happened in the last year or so, is that people have just hated him and don't even care what he has to say about anything as it is related to sports. And the TV ratings with Undisputed this last year definitely spell that out. And then also, too, his YouTube views are absolutely in the toilet, or got to the into the toilet, where it was a point where I was looking at some of those views and I had some videos that had more views than him. Now, I'm not bragging about my views or anything like that. But I have less than 500 subs at the recording of this video, and Skip Bayless is 160,000 subs. There shouldn't be any universe where our views are even similar with some respect, where he had some that had less than 1,000 views, right? But part of this revamp tour that Skip is going on is he went on Part of My Take, did a whole interview with those guys, and then he also did a profile with the Washington Post. And doing a lot of the stuff, he's been talking about his relationship with Shannon Sharpe, and kind of Shannon's leaving of Fox Sports, and kind of Skip's reaction to it. And he's kind of trying to rewrite history here a little bit. So I'll go ahead and show you guys this little snippet from that article that the Washington Post did on Skip Bayless, where Skip Bayless says he lost his love for the game after FS1 pushed out his debating partner, Shannon Sharpe. My heart was no longer in it because I didn't want Shannon to leave, and I fought for him to stay. It was a shock they pushed Shannon out. Okay, so let's talk about this here. There is so many things I have to say about that. So the first part, and I'm sure you guys are probably raising your eyebrows at this here too, is that last sentence, a shock that they pushed Shannon out. Because I think kind of just the way that Shannon kind of blew up after Skip left, it felt like that Shannon left on his own accord. But if you actually go back and you look at the reporting on it at that time, the reports were that Fox did push Shannon out. It was also too, Shannon was in an interview with Stephen A. Smith, because I believe Stephen A. Smith reported it. And then Shannon also said in an interview, I re-listened to it a few days ago just to kind of for research for this pod, was he basically said the thing of hey, remember when Shannon missed the day of work for the Damar Hamlin thing, and he said that his words were hey, that must have been the day that they no longer wanted to do business with Shannon Sharpe, when I didn't show up for work that day. So I do think that Fox pushed him out. I think there is some kind of weird words for that, where pushed him out. What does that mean? Because, it could have also been reports too that they mutually parted ways, because I think that's probably closer to what happened, because Shannon did say he would fulfill his whole contract. But was it a thing where he went to Fox Sports and said, hey, I will keep working with you guys, but I don't want to do Undisputed anymore. I can't work with Skip Bayless, and maybe you put me on a different show. And Fox Sports said, no, we're not going to put you on a different show. It's Skip Bayless or nothing. Or it was a thing too where they knew that working relationship between those two was completely over with. Shannon has said that, multiple times. And they basically decided to get ahead of it. And this is probably what happened, was that hey, we have to pick either Skip or Shannon. And they picked the wrong horse. They picked Skip Bayless. So that's probably what happened here. But to the other part of this here too, Skip Bayless also said in that article that he was dumbfounded that Shannon Sharpe felt disrespected by Skip Bayless. And Skip Bayless talked about this on Pardon My Take, where he was like, I had the thing, we had the thing with the Brady thing. And even too, in that argument, or excuse me, in answering that question on Pardon My Take, Skip Bayless basically said basically still thought that he was in the right talking about Tom Brady, and didn't feel like he disrespected Shannon Sharpe at all, if you go ahead and watch that interview. And that's kind of the thing here with Skip Bayless on who he is as a person. He is one of those guys that I think it's part of the reason that he can be captivating, or at a time was captivating on TV, where he always thinks that he's right about every single situation, where he can never be quote unquote man enough to just say, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect you there. I won't do it again. Instead, he's like still doing like the mental math where he's like, well, I mean, I meant this. It's not my fault that you interpreted it a wrong way. They even had a thing on Pardon My Take where they were bringing up his old takes. And it's like the things like Johnny Manziel, he said Josh Freeman was better than Cam Newton, and he was still defending those takes where he was like, well, I'm still right on this because blah, blah, blah. And that's just kind of the thing with Skip Bayless here. And it's kind of funny that he keeps trying to rewrite history on all of this stuff too, where even a few months ago when he left Fox Sports 1, or excuse me, when he got fired by Fox Sports 1, by the way, they canned him. He was pretending he didn't get fired. He was like, I left on my own because I want to write a book, bro. I want to write a book, bro. I got this screenplay with Lil Wayne. It's controversial. Fox Sports wouldn't want me to sell this screenplay. And then he's also like, well, they were protecting, they said I couldn't say certain things. I'm like, yeah, Skip Bayless is the guy that's going to be going on a, a branch and, trying to say like all of these controversial things. And it's like the one controversial thing he wanted to do was like talk about Tom Brady's broadcasting career and basically trash him as a broadcaster. And it's like, dude, like, yeah, of course Fox Sports doesn't want you publicly like trashing their employee that they are paying like $30 million a year. That's kind of like a no duh kind of a situation. So all kinds of things of him just being delusional with this relationship with Shannon Sharpe, where he's like, they pushed him out, bro. I fought for him to stay. After hearing him in some of those interviews, I doubt he fought for him to stay. Why do I say that? Now, would he have been fine with Shannon staying? Yes. Was the side of the relationship that didn't want to go on Skip Bayless? No. Skip Bayless was fine with the relationship going on. It was Shannon that wanted the heck out of there, right? But I do think Skip, just after listening for a while, I think he genuinely thought, all right, Shannon's gone. Like they're paying me twice his salary anyway. They were paying Skip Bayless $8 million a year. They're only paying Shannon $4 million. People are going to come and still want to watch me just because it's me, right? They're going to want to watch me and hear my takes and hear me bash LeBron for the 1 millionth time and have my takes on basketball and football and all kinds of other sports. And we'll be just fine without Shannon. It turns out that wasn't the case. As we covered on the show earlier this year, the ratings for that show were actually I have the article here. I can actually kind of show you. It's a YouTube chart here. This is from an article on on Front Office Sports. This is the YouTube numbers in terms of millions. I think they charted it like monthly. Yeah, monthly YouTube views for FS1's The Facility, formerly Undisputed. So if you guys look at here on your screen, this is what the numbers were like, with Skip and Shannon. Shannon leaves FS1. They take a dip here for a little bit. And then when they come back to the show, the numbers come back to basically the same levels that they were under when Skip and Shannon were together. And then they started to slow down, go down, and then they kind of millied around down here. And then they finally, with the last month or so, went all the way down. And then they're starting to tick up a little bit with the new show that they have there on Fox Sports. And that was kind of the same thing there with the TV viewing audience, was that they were at like 160,000, I think, with Skip and Shannon. Then when they came back after their little hiatus after Shannon left, the numbers stayed the same for a while last fall. And then around like December, they dropped to around 100,000. And it was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then it got to the point where they went down to like 90,000, like post Super Bowl, which should be like one of the biggest days that show has. And then it got to be like March Madness. They're in like the 60,000s. And then over the course of the summer, they got right around to like average of like 50,000 viewers. And to the point too of like Skip saying like, oh, I left Fox Sports on my own accord. It's like, dude, they were paying you $8 million a year. They weren't paying you $8 million a year to have 45,000 people watch you guys, watch you talk about sports. They want you to get hundreds of thousands of people, millions of views. They want those 40 million, YouTube views a month. That's what they want. They don't want you to have like less than 1,000 views on your own videos and um for them to only have like 10 million views on their YouTube channel for a whole month. So this whole Skip Bayless thing here, he keeps pretending, it's a revamp tour. So just kind of, and I know everyone kind of has to be a little bit skeptical. Did I say that right? I don't know. Have some sort of speculation on what Skip says, if he's actually, being genuine and actually telling the honest truth, or if he's talking in Skip Bayless language where he's like saying his truth. So I know people are probably already, have a predisposition to that, but that's kind of what I wanted to share this video here today, is because he keeps talking about this stuff with, his time leaving Fox Sports, and then Shannon leaving Fox Sports, where he's trying to rewrite history, trying to say that oh, Shannon wasn't that mad at me, bro. He wasn't that mad, right? Right? He even said that like on PMT, where it was like they had that Brady thing, and he said we talked, and it was a great talk afterwards. We got along really well, and we went on for there. And I thought everything was all solved after that. But then if you hear Shannon Sharpe talk about that, which I did again a few days ago, Shannon was like, okay, I almost I wanted to hit you. I wanted to hit you. And he was like, I knew at that point, yeah, this is over. Like, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. You disrespected me, and I'm completely out on this. And again, that's just the thing with Skip Bayless. People don't care what he has to say anymore about things. And we'll see if this revamp tour works. But I don't know if it will, because he said he's trying to do another debate show. I don't know who would want to debate him, because again, that's why they took such a long hiatus, because they're trying to find people to debate Skip, and everyone was like, nope, I don't want to do that. Pass, 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 pass. And then they landed on Keyshawn Johnson, who there was a reason that he was sitting on the street, without a job, because not necessarily the most captivating, energetic personality. Seems like a nice guy and everything, but I don't necessarily care what he has to say about sports. So yeah, there you have it. And there's a bunch of things. I'll end on this. There's a bunch of things that he said on Pardon My Take that I would like to do videos about, but I also don't want to do more than one Skip Bayless video, in a week's time. So if this video, because we've had a lot of other videos that we did talking about Fox Sports and Skip, we've gotten a lot of likes. If this video gets 50 likes, I will do a few more videos talking about Skip and pulling clips from his interview with Pardon My Take. So if you hit that like button, you hit subscribe. And if we get 50 likes on this video, I will do videos about his interview with Pardon My Take. He said something crazy about Charles Barkley, that Charles Barkley is jealous of him. He also said that he was going to have a reunite with Stephen A in 2020, which again, I could break down why that was complete BS of what he said there. So again, if you guys like this video, hit that like button. If I get 50 likes, I will do videos on both of those two things. So, but I'm only going to do it if I get that many likes. If I don't get that many likes, I won't do it. So if you hit that like button, also hit subscribe. I'll do those videos. And thank you very much for watching. If you got this far, feel free to check out the Rest of Sports Detective Podcast channel page. We don't just talk sports media stuff. We talk football, because we're in the middle of October right now. So we're talking NFL, we're talking college. Basketball season's getting, cranked up here in the next month or so. So we're going to be talking about that a bunch. And again, like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you next time.